some maintenance on blowers. Hey Jim, take it away. Show us what you got here.
Well, here we got a blower from MVE. It's a 4310. The 4310s, 4307s are basically identical as far as the same maintenance. With these blowers, there's four of these little knob wing nuts, we call them. That's where you access your final filter, air filter, the steel, and they pop out. Many operators will carry a spare one, so pull the dirty one out, put the clean one back in, clean and rotate those air filters, and it's very important to maintain clean air filters.
Hey Jim, I have a question. So depending on what kind of companies I service or what environment it is, how often do I change that?
Well, good question. You know, and again, owner-operators will vary 5-7 days a week, 8, 10, 12 hours a day, environment and what you're pumping. When you experience friendly overflows, material that foams, when you know that happens, clean that air filter. After grease pumping grease is not a problem, but grease is gummy, sticky, and tacky, and it will clot this filter up quickly.
Perfect.
So grease will also pass through here and burn inside the blower. Pumping grease is not a problem as long as you maintain a good clean filter. Cleaning this filter could be as little as once a week or every day. So the razor is here. She just pockets right inside there. Pop. And the same thing you'll find inside there.
These just for these little knobs
go back in.
Perfect. All right, well, we got a handle on that. What's the next step you think for maintenance?
Diesel fuel flushing. Again, they recommend doing diesel fuel flushing as little as once a week or more, depending on your operation, and that goes back to friendly overflows, foam, pumping grease, diesel fuel reservoir right here, ball valve right here. Again, with the PTO engaged at idle, at the lowest RPM possible, which would be idle. Valve handle in the neutral position, inducting diesel fuel in there for 2 seconds, 1001, 1002. It's not going to take much. It's just going to fog the inside, cleanse it, lubricate it. Diesel fuel flushing would be, again, as little as once a week or more, depending on what you're pumping. Diesel fuel flushing would be recommended after every grease pump. We've had that in the neutral position. Again, we're maintaining idle, and then you want to put it in the pressure mode because they want to send whatever diesel fuel entered that pump into the moisture trap, and there you'll find a drain, of course, too. They're called scrubbers, moisture trap, secondary shutoff, they're all the same. Trying to avoid, they don't want the diesel fuel traveling into the exhaust silencer, which in this truck is on the other side of the truck. And then it comes to changing your gear loop in these end cases. There's one on each end. This is the non-drive end, and on the opposite side is the drive end. There's a fuel plug here, and on the bottom there's 2 drain plugs. There's panels here, and then after removing the panels you can access the drain plugs. This here line that is marked fill is already pre-plumbed to this port on the back side. So when filling that back port, that's the purpose of this petcock vent. When discharging and dumping that oil, and when filling that oil. That's the purpose of the vent, and the only purpose of that vent. When you do change this oil, the synthetic gear lube in this blower is to drain the oil in the gearbox and change that at the same time. Highly recommended. That's the best maintenance procedure.
Jim, how often do you have to change the lube?
The gear lube should be changed for the first time after the first 500 hours and every 1,000 hours thereafter. So operators will vary. I hear a lot of guys saying once a year.
Sure.
Yeah. And again, too, gearbox at the same time with the same synthetic gear lube. Do not put standard 80-90 gear lube in either one of them.
You get a lot of phone calls about that, don't you, Jim?
Yep.
Yeah.
Traditionally, all your other gearboxes will have your 80-90 gear lube. These blowers have a 220 synthetic gear lube in there, the same as there, to help manage the heat.
Perfect.
Here we also found some grease zerks. The only thing that's greasing is this valve handle when and if she gets tight on you through the course of time. Also, after doing with draining and friendly overflows, these blowers are equipped with an exhaust silencer, which can be located on either side of the truck. And of course, all day long, you're pumping wet, moist air that's traveling through the airstream. I'm sure there will be moisture and condensation collecting in here, especially after friendly overflows. There are 2 drain plugs on the bottom. That should be drained periodically. Checked and drained. So there we go. Maintenance on these blowers is very little. The 2 biggest issues are filter and diesel fuel flushing.
Like and subscribe below. You can also call our office at 1-800-558-2945, or you can message us, and our sales team would be happy to get back with you. Jim, thanks again for all your help. We appreciate it.
Thanks much, guys.
Have a great day.